Parents of Reddit, what are your kids currently attempting to hide from you? My 6-year-old got out of bed early on Sunday morning to sneak downstairs and steal Monopoly money from the bank in the unfinished game from the night before, which was left out on the table. And politician in the making. NA. Politician doesn't steal it from the bank. The bank gives it to him. Crafty fecker. My kid would get up in the middle of the night and want a snack. He would sneak into the kitchen and eat a whole tomato except the little circle where it connected to the stem. He hid the little stem circles under whatever was on top of the trash and would go to sleep. We always made sure there were tomatoes for him. I did that with pickles. I'd sneak in the kitchen and just eat my weight in pickles. Who eats a whole tomato? The Pez dispensers in his nightstand. He eats them in secret pretty sparingly, so I let it go. He's 6. A 6-year-old with self-control and willpower is pretty impressive. My sister was like this. Every Halloween she still had a few pieces of candy left from the year before. She'd ration it until the next year, so she never ran out from the time she was about 6 onwards. Mine was always gone by Remembrance Day. My 3-year-old nephew opens a packet of Lay's and eats 2 chips and then eats 2 more next day, and so on. I will never have that kind of self-control. My kid is 5. She sneaks food under her blanket, wrapped snacks for later, and is always amazed when I find them. Kids are fucking stupid. She watched her mother make her way to where her snacks in secret lay. And though she knew she'd hid them well, her mother somehow seemed to tell. For when, at last, she reached her bed, she threw her sheets aside and said, "I'm sorry, love, you're out of luck." Her daughter whispered, "What the frick?" My 22-year-old son starts work at 6 a.m. He left the house at 6:30 and came back 30 minutes later. I think he got fired. Update, he went to work today. I asked him if he went to work yesterday and he said everything was locked up and they had changed the unloading schedule that day and didn't tell him. Second update, September 15th, 2019, he slept in after staying up late with friends and finally got fired. He told us immediately. He owes us money. Ooh, that's painful. Or he forgot he had the day off. My daughter, who's 9, thinks she's being crafty, hiding a book under her pillow to read after bedtime. I've known for about a year and let her have half an hour secret reading time after she goes to bed. Bit harder to know if she's not reading after half an hour now it's summer and she doesn't need to use a lamp. But I can tell if she's turned her lamp off in winter. That's the kind of kid I want to have. They can hide reading books for as long as they want to. I was that kid. I still have sleeping problems and permanent dark circles around my eyes. I was that kid. I started sleeping with my door cracked so I could read in that sliver of light. Or I used my Game Boy backlight. Himself. It's nearly bedtime. 2-year-old thinks I'll forget to put him to bed if he runs into another room for 30 seconds. If he was a bit older I'd say he was playing Skyrim and thought the stealth system in that game is realistic. When my son was 5 he stashed a bunch of blueberries under his pillow for later. Problem is, not only did they get squished night 1, but he forgot about them until we changed his sheets a few days later. Ugh. Death. We had a foster kid that hid about 2 handfuls of spaghetti with sauce under his pillow. Found it the next day while he was at school. Got it cleaned up. Never told him we found it. Made sure to have spaghetti twice a week thereafter. Or, I've heard of foster parents that keep mini-fridges with food in the kids' room to help them with anxiety. He has a crush on the babysitter and tries to draw hearts to give to her. He also proposed. He is 6. We went on a trip this summer that involved a plane ride. My son looked at me and said, "Mom, do you think the waitress flight attendant is pretty?" I said, "Yes, she is pretty." "Why do you think she is pretty?" He giggled and said, "Yes, I think she is pretty." "Don't tell though." He's 6. Kid's warming up his game early and double-checking his standards. Absolute legend. Everybody's kids here are hiding books to read secretly. Mine's hiding in his bedroom trying to use a glue stick like lip balm. Keep an eye on that. The regular weirdos ate crayons and turned out okay. The kids eating paste were the delinquents. Hey, I ate the paste as a kid and I brain just fine. Our son 9 is taking his marbles to school and screwing other kids out of their marbles. He's got a real hustle going on there. He's not allowed to take any toys to school. Hence why he's hiding it. I checked his school backpack and found probably a kilogram worth of marbles in there. We are having a talk this afternoon. Will the talk involve increase your profit margins? Choose your clientele. Become exclusive. Do less work but for higher returns. Because it definitely should. No kid should have to lug a kilo of marbles about. Lol. Good idea. He had like a small packet of marbles we bought him one time for Christmas. I think there was like 10 or 15 in it. With that and the other 15 he scammed his sister out of. He won that many marbles at school. It's well over 200 at this point, I'm sure. But unfortunately all he thinks about now is his marbles and how to win them and not his homework. His teacher is getting real pissed at him. My 6-year-old is gobsmacked that I know about the rolling around on the floor instead of schoolwork. No idea the teacher can reach me anytime. Your kid is a yellow lab. 6-year-olds basically are. My daughter throws her lettuce under the table for the dog to eat. The dog doesn't like lettuce. Your kitchen floor might need some cleaning at this point in time. Imagine just a giant mountain of lettuce on the floor and the kid says, "I don't know how that got there." Conversation with daughter. Okay. So while I was changing your sister, did you finish dinner? Yes, daddy. All of it? Yes. So if I look in the garbage, I'm not going to find any of your dinner in there? Silence. I flushed food I didn't like down the toilet. I never had to finish my meals because my father was forced to when he was a child. And it was so horrible. He didn't want my sister and me to experience that. It's a careful balancing act. You don't want to force a child to eat if they genuinely aren't hungry. It's unnecessary and leads to bad food habits in later life. But you also don't want your child skipping meals when they are hungry because they don't like a certain vegetable. Or are too busy playing. My 4-year-old son is currently trying to hide that he pees his bed. His dad questioned him the other morning asking if he did and he said no. Even though we were holding his wet pants. When we asked whose pants they were, he said mummy's. We asked again if he peed his bed and he said, "No, mommy did it." Little bastard. Well, mommy, why are you pissing on his bed? Well, I think my husband would be upset if I peed in our bed. But no one will suspect the boy. Plus, he is a defiant little shiz. My almost 2-year-old has started telling me crazy stories as if they are real. He recently told me that our dog rides a motorcycle to go play with her friends. I hope you play along with it. Absolutely. Have you confirmed it with your dog that he's not riding a motorcycle? That's a good point. I'll ask her later. My 4-year-old son just asked me how many coins I had on my desk. I said I didn't know. He said he counted 6. Reverse psychology here, everyone. I don't get this comment. I've read it about 10 times now. What is this? Kid took some coins and there are 6 left. Fortunately my teenager 16, going on 17, doesn't try to hide much from me. She's a terrible liar and gets busted right away every time. So she just casually admits stuff these days. It's pretty great. However, she's been sneaking her boyfriend over to the house during the day while I'm at work and thinks I'm clueless. Girl, I know you eat a lot. But there's no way you're going through half a loaf of bread by yourself in one day. You also left his glass of water on the coffee table. IDK man. I feel like I could eat half a loaf of bread by myself. Honestly. Half a loaf of bread gone and more than one water glass left out. She could be a stoner. I pretend to be a bad liar to my parents so they wouldn't suspect when I'm actually lying. I did this too growing up. My mom still insists I am a bad liar. I would make sure to get in trouble for little lies so that when I told big lies she wouldn't think I was really attempting it since I was so bad at it. Though I'm well into my 20s and still have an issue with lying when I don't need to so. Girlfriends kids 20 and 17 like to go work on the car together in the detached garage. Late at night. Yeah. Pretty sure they're smoking weed. She likes to make them awkward by asking what they're up to. We see the 3 feet bong you guys. That first half had me worried as hell. I'm glad it's just weed. Yeah, working on cars late at night sucks. If you need a part and your car is all disassembled and broken. How you getting to the store? As a kid my friends and I would actually just go work on the car late at night. We were all pretty big into the Euro tuner scene. We would go smoke weed after the car was done though. Got a 12-year-old and I definitely know his Reddit account cause the little turd used my email to sign up. Must not have thought that one through. I'm too scared to look at it though. That's a rabbit hole you never want to go down. I made the mistake of posting identifying information once. My sister uses Reddit. Saw it. Realized it might be me. And whenever I was over visiting at my dad's where she lives she would stealthily peek at my username until she confirmed it was me. Turns out she had gone really far into my post history. Now I have 2 accounts. I used to know. And could easily find out my 18-year-old's Reddit. Nope. Not gonna. He knows my account name. Wonder if he ever Reddit stalks me.